I spent over $800 on a console literally built around its graphical upgrades. I can't tell the difference between graphics modes. I always choose performance mode or frame rate mode on basically every single game, but I still think it's worth it. So my original PS5 told me it was too hot, over 10 times in the same game. I'm talking about Metaphor ReFantazio. And before you say anything, I literally made a video on this. It was a whole thing. I cleaned my PS5, took the fan out, reset the system, tried everything. And every 30 minutes, like clockwork, I would get the notification my console was overheating. That's how the PS5 Pro story starts for me. Not because I really wanted it, because Metaphor was literally destroying my original PS5. Once I accepted there was nothing I could do, the math was pretty simple. I needed to trade in my PS5 before it actually died on me, and if I'm already doing that, might as well get the Pro. Got $286 on the trade-in, ended up spending over $800 once I added the disk drive and vertical stand. But here's the thing, even without the overheating, I already had a reason to want the Pro. Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3, which I've been calling is going to be called Remember. We don't know when it's dropping, but if I had to guess, probably on the anniversary, so early next year, and almost certainly before the PS6. And when it does, I want to play it at the best possible frame rate and resolution. That was the real bet I was making with my purchase. The overheating just moved up the timeline. Now here's the honest part. I've played Dragon's Dogma 2, Expedition 33, KCD 2, although briefly, that game just wasn't clicking for me at the time, all on the Pro. And honestly, I didn't really notice a big difference. Now obviously I had already traded in my PS5, so I'm not comparing side by side, but you know, all that to say, I didn't even know those games were PS5 Pro enhanced until I started researching for this video. And even if I did know, I always choose performance mode anyway. Every game, really no exceptions. Give me my frame rate and I'm done. I'm not sitting here, oh, this resolution is slightly crispier. That's just not how I experience games. And even me being graphically blind, I could see the difference in FF7 Rebirth on base PS5. The difference between the performance mode and the graphics mode. Performance mode looked like absolute dog shit compared to the graphics mode, but I still chose performance. I don't know, I just like FPS more. So the graphical upgrade I theoretically paid for wasn't really doing much for me. And honestly, PSSR, the Pro's upscaling tech, wasn't even landing well at launch for a lot of games anyway. Silent Hill F, Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, people were not impressed. The promise of the PS5 Pro wasn't fully there yet. But then, Sony announced an upgraded version of PSSR with the first use case being Resident Evil Requiem. Digital Foundry just covered it, and from what I understand, there are two sides to it. New games built around the updated version, like Requiem, and Sony also says there's a new PS5 Pro setting that can improve image quality in games that already use PSSR. So no, it's not magically fixing every old game on the system. For example, Elden Ring isn't technically PS5 Pro enhanced, but we see the obvious frame rate upgrades just from the more powerful hardware. So things like that won't change, but it does sound like the Pro promise is starting to make more sense. So was it worth over $800? Probably, at least for me. I say probably because most of the games I played in 2025, I couldn't really tell the difference. Not because the upgrade isn't real, I'm just a bit graphically blind and always play on performance mode. But here's the thing, I needed a new PS5 regardless. Once that was true, the Pro was the logical move. I did boot up FF7 Rebirth just to test it out. Versatility mode, basically quality mode, visuals running at 60 FPS instead of 30. And when I go to replay that game before Part 3 drops, I think that alone is going to make the PS5 Pro worth it for me. So for now, probably worth it, but ask me again after FF7 Remember drops.